Hi, everyone. I'm Gina Soleil, founder of the Energy CEO, and welcome to my favorite room in my house. I love this room. For those of you who have not watched my conversations from the floor before, it is a small, tranquil room that I redid as a new studio where I could just sit down and be surrounded by all the things that I love. And so every once a week, for sure, I come in here and I get to have a conversation with all of you beautiful people. And so that's what time it is today. Is I get to sit and just chill out on the floor with whatever beverage I choose. Today it's nothing fancy. Today it's lemon water. That's my afternoon drink today. But I'm digging my cup. Look at all these amazing bugs. This is a fabulous cup and it makes me happy. So I'm in my happy room with my happy mug and my delicious lemon water. As I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about in this particular conversation, I was really kind of just in such a calm place that there was nothing of urgency, which is so wonderful that I just said that because if you've been watching my videos this week, everything is about urgency, right? And how do we move from urgency to calm and nervous system and regulation and the whole nine yards? And if you haven't, check out those videos. That's not what this conversation is today. But as I was in such a good space that when I walked in here, I didn't exactly know what was going to come out of my mouth. And I started thinking about why I feel so good today. And I had these opportunities just to be in my own space and to be calm and to be in my own silence. And one of the things that most people don't know about me, and it's an assumption that people make, is most people think that I'm an extrovert. They see my videos, they see me do public speaking, they see me do, workshop facilitation, all those things that people would assume are very extroverted type of personality shines when I'm in those situations. But one of the things that they don't know, that you may not know about me, is I'm an introvert. And yes, I can have those extroverted moments where I really can shine, but where I get my energy is when I'm by myself and when I have space and silence and the opportunity to sit in calm and just relax and be, whether it's one with nature or just one with myself, right? And that's what refuels me. And I had an opportunity to do that. And it was amazing what a difference it made today. And it made me reflect, as I was thinking about this, it made me reflect on all the assumptions that we make about other people. And they're not necessarily bad. Assumptions don't have to equal judgment, right? Assumptions can just be assumptions. But there are so many assumptions, right? We see somebody, and it doesn't matter what the situation is, but we see somebody and we're like, oh, I assume this person, because of what I am visually seeing, right, has this type of lifestyle, or has this type of belief system, or is an extrovert or is an introvert, or prefers this or prefers that. And so the reason I'm bringing this up is the insight that came through on assumption is that often we say, don't assume. And we take responsibility for not making assumption on other people, or, right, we're taught don't put assumption on other people. Now, that all being said, the insight that had then came through today for me was part of the responsibility of not assuming is within that other person as well. So what do I mean by that? Is we actually in our society have a bit of a depletion when it comes to sharing. this kind of goes into vulnerability, that if we're not sharing about the things that we prefer or who we are, what happens is people outside of us make those assumptions. Not that we're going to share to the rest of the world. Not everybody has a microphone and a camera on telling the whole world what's going on, right? But there is a two-way relationship here. And that, if it's something that, you don't want people to make assumptions about, there's really a lot of power in sharing. And this magical thing happens when you share. That person or people, and however you choose to share, they know more about you. And you become then to them, you become human. And what happens when all of a sudden you see another human being and you can look in their eyes and you know a little bit more about them and you see them as a human, it's a little harder to assume. And it's definitely harder to judge. It's harder to be angry sometimes. It's harder to not have compassion. It's harder to not be kind. And there's magic in that. There's magic when a human being allows themselves to share a little bit more with another human being. So when you think about those assumptions, when you think about if you ever make an assumption about another human being or somebody's making an assumption on you, maybe stop a bit and ask yourself, do I have an opportunity here just to share a little bit more about myself? Because in that moment of sharing, not only do the assumptions dissolve, but relationships get stronger. And you might actually make a relationship, a friendship, or whatever that relationship may be, with someone who is unexpected, just because you took the time to share a little bit more about who you are. So, yeah. Those are my thoughts today, conversations from the floor. But I do think that there's this idea of sharing and taking an opportunity to give people a little bit more information about you from a leadership perspective is really important. Because if you're a leader, sometimes it's hard for people to see you as human. And we get so sucked into the day-to-day, the business as usual activity, that taking time to share a little bit more about yourself also helps you soften up and helps people maybe to relax a little bit more in your presence. And for those of you who maybe aren't in a leadership role, sharing a little bit more about yourself with your leader can also make a world of difference. So again, it's a two-way street, right? But a power in the sharing. So I don't particularly love bugs in my house, but I love bugs on my cups, apparently, right? So there we go. So I'm not necessarily a bug lover all around, just within my favorite cup here. But there's so many things that we can share. There's so many things that you can share just to soften the landscape a little bit more, if you will. So that's what I would encourage you to do today. I would encourage you to share a little bit more about who you are to somebody who you haven't taken the time to get to know yet. Make a friend. Yeah, and who knows, maybe they'll share a little more about who they are. And with that, maybe some assumptions that you had or they had dissolve. And in return, you have a friendship. You never know. Magic and miracles, they can happen. So you guys all have a blessed day. And I'm sure I'll see you in the next video. Have a great one.